when the saints go marching in.
Vox Fidei brings you into the inner life of the Word made flesh. Father Chris guides us in the lives of the saints in Saintly series.
Welcome! It's Saintly series. Today, 11th of August, we celebrate St. Clare of Assisi, Abbess and Virgin. St. Clare of Assisi was born on the 16th of July in 1194 as Chiara of Educcio. Her father was a wealthy representative of an ancient Roman wealthy family, and her mother a very devout woman. Clare was described as a very beautiful maiden with golden hair. Her beauty was the talk of the whole of Assisi. She was betrothed at the age of 14, but she refused marriage. Clare was a very young girl, and she held to her life as dedicated in prayer. At 18, she had listened to the preaching of St. Francis of Assisi during the Lenten season in the Church of St. Giorgio. Later, she came to Francis asking him to help her live according to the gospel values. That became the birth of a strong partnership of history between Clare and Francis of Assisi. On Palm Sunday in 1212, Clare, who had a burning desire for the gospel, abandoned her father's house and went to meet Francis. While there, based on Francis's guidance, she cut her hair and received a plain robe and veil in exchange for her rich gown, a rich symbol of renouncing everything. Her relatives broke into the convent to drag her out of the place, but she held strong to the altar clothes, and her relatives were not able to pull her away. Later, her mother and her sister, who was now a widow, came and joined her in the convent, and they all stayed there. Over time, other women joined Clare, all to be spotless brides of Christ in the convent there. Their lives were lived in strong asceticism, seclusion from the world, and poverty. According to the rule given to them by Francis, a second order, they lived in a poor house, wore no shoes, and were in silence most of the times, just contemplating God. Their lives consisted of manual work and prayer. These brides of Christ were also referred to as the poor ladies of San Damiano. The order was handed over to Clare by Francis of Assisi, and she became the abbess. This was in 1216. After the death of St. Francis of Assisi, Clare continued to promote the order, adhering strictly to the rule of St. Francis. In 1224, at this time, Clare was very sick and frail. Then an army of Frederick II came to attack Assisi. Clare, in her bodily weakness, went and got the Blessed Sacrament. She had it placed at the wall where the enemies could see it, and she went on her knees and begged God to save Assisi and to save the sisters. A voice answered her, and the soldiers, struck with fright and terror, they fled, never to come back to Assisi. Before she died, she suffered excruciating pains for many years, but she said that no pain could trouble her. So great was her joy in serving the Lord that she once exclaimed, "They say that we are too poor, but can a heart which possesses the infinite God be truly called poor?" 10 years after her death, the order became known as the Order of St. Clare or the Poor Clares. The life of St. Clare calls us to mind that great question, what can separate us from the love of God? It further helps us know that nothing we cling to can earn us salvation. At Pope Innocent's request, the canonization process of Clare began 2 years after her death. And so later, in 1255, Pope Alexander IV canonized Clare as St. Clare of Assisi. The color of the day is white. St. Clare of Assisi is the patron saint of everything about television. Why television? Because when Clare was sick and could not go to church to receive the Eucharist, she is said to have seen Jesus appear to her severally on the wall. She is the patron saint of all who have eye diseases and all who use eyeglasses. She is the patron saint of laundry. What we offer the saint is veneration. God bless you. I am Father Chris, Vox Fidei.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in.
Vox Fidei, God is in charge.